One sentence summary. We see three perspectives on a sexual assault, and Adam Driver's character is guilty in all of them. Could you beat the villain? Nobody comes out of this looking like a hero, but could I beat Adam Driver's Jacques Legree? In a classic jousting night fight, no, I couldn't, because he's got way more experience than me. But if you've got modern technology like a grenade, or a big magnet, or even just a car, yeah, I could beat him pretty easily. How would you improve this film? I don't know why we saw three versions of the same events when they weren't really very different. I think they may have even used the same script for each version, but different emphasis on different words, so on and so forth. But there are only a few kind of key differences in the story. For example, in every single version, well, in the two versions that we saw the assault happening, Jodie Comer's character is like, nah, man, I want you to leave. And he's like, oh, you're just playing hard to get. So, no, that's bad. And in Matt Damon's version, he saved Adam Driver's life. And in Adam Driver's version, he saved Matt Damon's life. So that's a big difference there. And then in Jodie Comer's version, she lost her shoes when she was kind of dashing away from Adam Driver. And in Adam Driver's version, she took off her shoes. But I wanted bigger differences. I'm not saying I wanted Adam Driver to be a mustache twirling villain in two versions, and in his one he was a saint, but something towards that end, I'd say. The haircuts may have been accurate for the time, but they did look terrible. Matt Damon's got a mullet, Ben Affleck's wearing a blonde wig, and then Adam Driver just has his usual Adam Driver hair that I've seen him have in a couple of films. And at some points, Jodie Comer had Princess Leia buns, which were pretty cool. The main cast don't have French accents. They seem to just speak in their kind of native accent. They're not speaking in French accents, is what I'm saying. And then there was a dude singing in French, and then another kind of background person was talking with a French accent, but in English. It was very confusing. You can tell that Adam Driver and Matt Damon are friends, because for the first third of the film, they're just like, hello, my friend. Hello, old friend. Good to see you, old friend. Hello, friend. All right, I get it. They're friends. Christ. Matt Damon described himself as broke, and I wasn't really sure if that kind of fit this 1300 story, so I looked into it, and usage of the term does actually go back as far as the 1500s. So you know what? I'm willing to let that slide. Most of the film has a kind of bit of text flash up on screen to let you know what year it is and where they are. And then at one point it says just kind of 1 year later without the date. So you're thinking, that's a bit strange. And then in the scene, Jodie's like, it's been a year. I was like, all right, so why have they added in that extra 1 year later bit to make sure everyone's aware? Because it's not exactly hard to follow. And if they were going to add in another bit, why not just put in the date and the location like they have been throughout the rest of the film? Matt Damon asks, why are they running? As arrows bounce off his armor and everyone around him not wearing armor dies from arrows. And it's like, how dumb is this guy supposed to be? So picture the scene. It's a medieval story. Someone is riding a horse into town and they're on their way because they're quite busy. And a lady herds some geese off of a road out of the way of a horse. Why does that keep happening in all of these films? Also, where is that lady going with those geese every time? It's said in the film that all of the servants were taken from the house on one day, the day that Adam Driver turned up. A, how did he know that the servants weren't going to be there? And B, why did Matt Damon's mum, so Jodie Comer's mother-in-law, take all of the servants, like the cooks and the cleaners and the guy that was working in the stables? What are they all doing? Doctor says, well, he's a sort of doctor, he's got outdated knowledge. He says that there are a couple of reasons why Jodie Comer might not be able to get pregnant with Matt Damon's kid. If she doesn't enjoy it, she's not going to get pregnant. If she's got an imbalance of the four humours, not going to get pregnant. And maybe it's God's will. Surely the first reason would be, well, it's God's will, because that would be making the other things happen. I don't understand how these Christians work. Ben Affleck announces at a dinner party that his wife is pregnant again, and then she stands up and, she's got the baby bump, and everyone's like, ooh. Had she been sitting the whole feast behind at the table, with it in front of her stomach bump, and nobody had like, even the people sitting next to her hadn't looked down and gone like, "You look pregnant," or were they just being polite? I'm not really sure. My finances are in a right old state, and I need some help. If you weren't throwing these weird orgies at your house all the time, and if you weren't interrupting the person that's trying to do your finances, maybe they would be in a better position. There's a kiss between Adam Driver, who is Matt Damon's old friend, I'm not sure if you're aware, and Jodie Comer, which Matt Damon insists his wife kiss my old friend to make sure everyone knows there's no beef anymore. It's strange. Number one, if they're French, you'd think they'd use tongues. And number two, Matt Damon says in his version of events, so the one that kind of paints him in the best light, "I'm a jealous man, right? I don't want you dancing with any other dudes right now." He's like, "Go on, kiss me, mate, in front of everyone. Kiss him." Matt Damon's gone off to war, and Jodie Comer's doing all the stuff. She's doing it her way, running the house her way, and I expected Matt Damon to kick off later. He's like, "You've gone against me, woman." But he didn't, so don't know why we bothered showing that she was doing it a different way. Anyway, a peasant comes up and he's like, "Here's my rent for this month, here's my rent for last month." She's like, "Why are you paying twice? Why didn't you pay last month?" He's like, "Well, no one come to collect me rent." You've come to the castle to speak to Jodie Comer to give the rent. So do you actually mean Matt Damon previously was going on knocking on everyone's door, or having someone knocking on their door saying, "Rent please," and no one turned up? Or were you just not chased for it? Matt Damon returns from war in Jodie's version, and he's not impressed with how low cut her top is. It's a woman's body. She's got the right to do whatever she wants and wear whatever she wants. Not in the 1300s, of course. And fairness, that was the lowest cut top we've seen in the entire film. So it would be a bit shocking if he's, never seen one of those before. There's a knock at the door, and you're like, "Who's there?" "It's me." Now, you would expect that is someone that the person knows very well and can recognise the voice of. But it's not. It's like, "It's me. Adam Driver's mate." "Oh, okay. I guess you can come in, man I've met maybe once or twice." In the final duel, why did that horse run into a wall? Because surely the horse's survival instincts would kick in and say, "I don't want to run face first into a concrete brick wall." Matt Damon gets kicked in the head by a horse during the final duel, and he still carries on. It's like, good lord, how is he still alive? There's a bunch of peasants outside of the jousting arena, and one of them's shaking a pitchfork. What's he doing? Is he chasing Frankenstein later that day? What's going on? Frankenstein's monster, I know. Who took the underpants off of Adam Driver's dead body? So he's been stripped of all his armour and stuff by the peasants and whoever else, because he's dead in the jousting stadium. And then he's wearing some pants. They drag his body out, his corpse, and then when he's strung up, he's not wearing his pants. Who stole those pants? Why? Oh, gross. Why would you even want those? Why was this the last duel? So it's said in the film that, duels have fallen out of favour, but they're not actually illegal or outlawed. And at the duel, everyone's cheering and going, "Way!" So why are they not doing any more after that? I think it would have been better if everyone wants Adam Driver to win. There's no secret about it. So Matt Damon wins, Adam Driver's dead. He's all like, "Yeah, I'm the victor." And it just goes like silent. Everyone's sad, no one cheers. Which would have linked back to a similar sort of thing that happened earlier in the film that I quite liked. Anyway, if everyone had been sad that the duel hadn't gone the way they would want it, that to me would make more sense as to why there are no more duels. But everyone had a pretty good time, so rating out of 5 beers. The armour actually worked like armour in this. Usually in a film, if someone gets stabbed, even if they're wearing full plate armour, they die. It's weird. I don't like that. But, blows bounce off the metal plates, so pretty good. And the film looked good. It looked pretty authentic to me, with no knowledge at all. And for all his faults, Adam Driver's character was an evil, evil, bad man. But he did have some cool cape swishing. So, you can't hold that against him. 4 out of 5. Could have been better, I think.